So I'm thinking here just how to go about men and women, and I suppose their roles in life, and what it's all about and all that. I suppose what I'm thinking principally is that I'm quite annoyed at how in a society we're trying to make women be the same as men and perform the same roles as men to the same standard as men. They're trying to make women identical with men in terms of performance and knowledge and their contribution to society and whatever. I'm thinking this kind of artificial, this movement, this push to put women forward and to expand their roles and to make women more important. I'm thinking that nature has made things a certain way. Nature has laid the rules of the game. It laid them down and said how things should be. And the bottom line seems to be that men are very much the doers in society, and women are very much the enablers of society, and providing men with a mission. They made themselves the object of men's desires. So women seem to seem to have a role of obviously the manufacturers of people and the objects of sexual desire for men. And I suppose raising children as well. And helping communities function properly. Men, on the other hand, have different role. They are obviously important in child production as well. They're important in terms of engineering, manufacturing, food production, agriculture, etc. And then they're also important for security. So the male and female role is very different. But it is surprising that there has been this push in society to enhance the role of women and, in a sense, to make women more like men. I don't think this is reasonable, and it can generally only lead to men being pushed back a bit to enable women to step forward more. It is artificial, and I think it's unsupportable, and it can only lead to, in a sense, resentment and awkwardness and a hindrance to the operation of society, basically. It seems to me that men do a certain thing, they have a certain role, and women have a certain role. And the roles are different, and there's not as much overlap as we seem intent on promoting right now. Men and women are not the same in their choices and their abilities either. So I think it's basically insane to expect to have the same productivity from men and women in all areas. Men are more suitably designed, if you like, to perform certain functions in certain ways. Women perform their own functions as well. motherhood in particular, and also being the object of desire for men, the motivators of men in many regards. And women often care and nurture men as well, care for them. And women also motivate men. Men want to tend to women and need women to create family and need women to provide motivation for him to succeed in life, to better enable him to support a woman. But it seems to me that in society we're intent on making men and women identical as much. And I don't think that's realistic. And I think one of the ways, well, one of the ways that this is a problem is men are being hamstrung and blamed for inequality when the inequality doesn't come from men. The inequality, and there is inequality, comes from circumstance. It comes from nature, it comes from reality. It doesn't come from men. And it's kind of idiotic to say it does come from men. It's separate from men and women, the reality I'm talking about. So women won't become the same as men. And we can't make women more like men without hamstringing men to make it possible. I think some things are the way they are. Women can't arm wrestle men generally. It won't happen really, no matter how much training you put women through. I'm using arm wrestling as an example, but it applies to a range of things I'm talking about. We still seem intent on making women the same as men, doing the same things, being capable of the same thing. And I don't think that's realistic. Yet it seems to be a big deal in government and in policy. And I think it leads to severe discrimination against men.